Hello, people of the internet and the world. My name, for those who don't know, is Adalia Day. I'm a theatre maker, poet, and animator, and I'm combining those skills today for your delectation. I'm going to start with Jedi on the Metro, which is the first poem that I did for people about 5 years ago. It's a whimsical, fun poem, a geeky poem, about the feeling when you pretend you're a magician and you wave your hand to open an automatic door and you get the timing right and it's like, oh, it just feels really good. I love those little moments in life, those magical moments where you're just a bit whimsical. And yeah, so basically in Paris, they've got the metro. The metro there is like the tube in London, their train system underground, and when you leave the station, there are these huge, thick, rubbery doors, there's something out of a Luc Besson film. They like go, whew! There's like a pressure pad on the floor and there's like a really vigorous opening. So when you get the timing right on that, it's like, whoa, that feels really powerful. And on that holiday, I did get the timing right several times, and it was like, oh, I'm going to write a poem about this. And yeah, I find it joyous. So yeah, this is called Jedi on the Metro. A lot of people will tell you they love you in your life. But you know what I truly love? The feeling when you pretend you're a Jedi and open an automatic door with just a wave of the hand. You've got to get the timing just right, but when it works, it's like you're Magneto, or Obi-Wan, or Voldemort even, like you could Wingardium Disarmium an opponent's wand at 20 paces with a flick of the wrist, or explode enemy drones by the thousand, Neo style. You could lift off and fly. You're Gandalf in a hurry, Melisandre letting off steam, you're Yoda when he thinks no one's looking, Dr. Manhattan, Saffron City Sabrina's entire Pokemon team. You're sly, you're nimble, you're Sherlock, if Sherlock had superpowers, and we all know he does deep down, he's just too cool to use them, though he did come back from the dead. You're Jesus! Well, maybe not Jesus, but one of his sons, or Arjuna before he goes to smite Krishna's foes who are gonna die anyway, but pow! An open door. Spa! Entrance to any supermarket in the world. Pow! Shuttle bus to the moon! Thwack! Leaving the Paris Metro. Greatest Jedi fake door opening experience this side of a galaxy far, far away. Oil-spattered, creaky, saloon-style, bebop spaghetti western doors. Don't touch me, its hinges shriek, metal violently jerking out of your way. Gunmetal grey, tire track rubber, cruder than Kung Pao. We're talking Doctor Who ramshackle. 80s sci-fi perfection. Besson, Scott and Genet could not mood board better. Bah! The DeLorean. The creaking Berg-struck Titanic. Metal on metal grinding like Robocop punched Terminator, punched Gundam, punched Optimus Prime. When the timing's just right. Hadouken! Tetsuo! She! You're a wizard, hi? Yeah! Chi in my capillaries. This girl's midichlorian count is through the roof. Full metal alchem. I'm a leaf in a crouching shiatsu. Hidden Buddha palm. Wind! I'm all seven Samur and I know Kung Force is strong with this 1, 2, 3. Let's jam. Ba 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 ba. For my next poem, I'm going to do Couscous, which was also from that trip to Paris. And basically, there's this mosque by Jardin des Plantes, and people are like, you need to go there, the food there is amazing. They have a restaurant and they serve couscous, and everyone's like, you need to go, it's so great. And I went, and they've got this thing where they'll never leave an empty plate, or they'll always stock you up with more couscous, and I've got a thing where I never want to leave an empty plate because it would be rude, and it was a recipe for disaster. Couscous. I never like to let food go to waste, but they never like to leave an empty plate. Paris, 2014. Ignorance isn't always bliss. Couscous expands in my tummy. Yummy, yummy. Spoon after spoon too much, too soon, a saucepan of sauce and 10 bowlfuls of grain, a challenge too great to decline. Spoon after spoon down the gullet the same, tu finis? No, I'm feeling fine. Spoon after spoon, stuffing cheeks full of grain, a mountain of legumes to climb. But I'll conquer you, couscous. You think that I'm weak. Feeling full is a trick of the mind. And you'll see, pretty couscous, you're nothing to me. I could finish the meal 20 times. The waiter, incredulous, face full oblivious, passes the food round the tables. The patrons all seem in a whimsical dream, but my body, it shudders. Unable to conquer the monster, face red like a lobster, my neck muscles straining to think that I once was a capable youngster, a mouth full of veg and a belly that wants to be eating all day and then sleeping all night. Now I'm one stir away from an unmasked imposter. The couscous has claimed me. Tell mother I love her. She couldn't have saved me. My soul's turned to gravy. My bones give a shudder. Bill paid, I depart. But we know in our hearts my soul's soon to depart. My jaws turn to jelly. My joints pop and swell, a couscous tree sprouts my belly. How much longer? I can't tell. But beware of the mosque next to Jardin des Plantes. They'll stuff you so full that you'll burst through your pants. And if ever you wonder what happened to me, know my body is now home for the couscous tree. For my next poem, I'm going to do a poem I wrote 15 years ago when I was at drama school. What? That maths doesn't make sense, Adelia. Shh. So 15 years ago when I was at drama school, aged like 19 or something, I made this poem about Shakespeare. So basically, I was frustrated with poetry at the time, and then I read this book, The Ode Less Travelled by Stephen Fry, and it was brilliant and totally opened my eyes to all sorts of different forms of poetry and shapes and exercises, and I was inspired to write a poem a day for a year, and most of them are awful, but some of them are quite fun, and it was such a great learning experience though. And one of his exercises in this book is about writing a cento, which is where you take a poet, and you take different lines from different poems of theirs. And I decided to do the clever thing of taking Shakespeare's sonnets. I was at drama school, I was doing Shakespeare, I was all like, yeah, I'm better than I am. And I decided to get different lines from different sonnets and make my own sonnet using those lines. It was awful, and don't worry, I'm not going to share with you that poem. That should never be shared with anyone. It was just awful. And basically, this poem is about my frustrations writing that poem. I wrote this poem immediately after, or maybe I wrote it halfway through. I stopped writing the poem and I was like, I'm going to write this poem because I'm so angry. And it's about some of the words that Shakespeare chooses to rhyme. We all revere the great Shakespeare for plays and such. His words can touch us deep inside, or wash like tidal wave our fear when we come near to choices bold that soon may hold in balance life and death. Such strife through words can send you round the bend, or mend 1,000 wrinkled brows ensnared by love, and up above in skies he'll teach the clouds to bleach away the grey that storms each day. And yet for all his great enthralling poetry, it seems to me he's but one crime. He cannot rhyme. 150 greatest sonnets hate me as I try to write to ply a cento out of rhyming drought, of lovers' mix. The clock still ticks, and on I go, and now I know that all he finds to rhyme, who minds? With love, who cares? Is prove, how dares he rhyme by sight? With all my might I cannot make for heaven's sake the poem's work. As discords strike, they soon outpsych me as I try to read aloud, can't feed off every word, very absurd. What mad accent or strange hell-bent odd voice to use to so abuse this love to sound like prove? I am bound to lose my mind. Let's put behind this plaintive curt and mental hurt. This rhyme from hell might just as well go take a hike. It's painful, like ill-fitting shoe. The toes poke through. By saying loove, my heart won't move. This awkward foot won't fit that boot. Yeah, so I'm about to do my final poem for you. If you've enjoyed this, I'm doing loads of digital projects at the moment because everything's going online. All sorts of animation and theatre type things. If you go to my website, you'll be able to check them out. That's www.adaliaday.co.uk. I've got my shows, Super Hamlet 64 and Too Pretty to Punch. I've got books for them as well, which you can get online at Etsy or gumroad.com. Yeah, so buy them, or don't, whatever you want to do. This is now is now poetry. Yeah, so my final poem, this is another recent one. It's called Sandwiches, and I wrote it for an audition for a show that I got the job for, so yes, definitely worked. The show is called The Vulture Song and is also available online. I can add the link. It's about the partition of India and Pakistan, and basically I had this audition for this play and I was like, well, what can I do? I've got to do a monologue, I haven't much time. So I just examined my feelings of colonialism, I researched it, was horrified by everything that went on. You should look it up if you don't know about it, it's just abhorrent. I won't go into it properly. But yeah, I made this poem comparing it to sandwich making, because it was just a way, I like metaphors, and yeah, it works for me. Sandwiches these days, eh? They just don't cut it. How to make great sandwiches again. Take out an insurance policy in an acquaintance's house, pop by unannounced, and offer their kids the greatest sandwich they'll ever taste. Preheat the oven to 500 degrees, 2 slices of bread, 1 white, 1 multi-seed. Butter them both up generously. Snatch the leaves from the lettuce, rip out capsicum seeds, hack radish, tear beet from root till juices bleed dry. 2 eggs. Separate the whites from the yolks. Whip the whites into a frenzy, save for sweet sunny desserts. Beat the yolks with wild abandon till there's barely anything left. Add a liberal amount of oil. Pocket whatever you don't use. Multi-seed ready. Ham. Pit the olives. Against the peppers lay a wilted sprig of sage. Cover conservatively with mayo, making sure everything rests under that yolk. White slice. Always on top. Press. Remove the crusts. The rule is divide and quarter. Turn on the hob. Don't light it yet. Time to set the mood. Seduce your acquaintance. Sleep with their partner as well. While the kids are in bed, cut off the youngest one's nose. Tell them the older one did it to spite their face. Confess your infidelity, scattering a few well-placed knives among the lies. Throw a lit match through the window and watch them burn. Throw a cup of water over the flames, collect the insurance on their behalf, then wash your hands of the whole thing. Now settle down in your coziest chair and take a bite out of your well-earned, lightly toasted treat, crafted with good old British values, and washed down with a sip of the finest English tea. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this time of poetry with me. Thank you to Library Presents for hosting me. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you stay safe and have as good a time as you can in whatever situation you're in. Thanks. Goodbye.